Okay, so in this video I'm going to focus on how to change your headings. And so usually what happens with a website is you might have a couple different levels of headings that you want. So in this case, rather than trying to build them all out, I'm just going to type heading 1, heading 2, and heading 3. And you might definitely have a need for more. More often than not, you won't need more than 3 levels of heading, but you could. You notice how sometimes I like to go to split view and make sure I'm on source code to see, what it does in the HTMLs when I do things like this. So I'm going to actually find that these paragraph tags are going to become an issue in a minute, but I'll show you what I mean. So let's go. Alright, so now I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to go down here, HTML, and under formatting, I'm going to hit heading 1. And this is the default, and so I'm going to go heading 2, and then heading 3. So these headings, you can sometimes get very creative with them. And so if you want to have, for instance, maybe navigation, you want a certain way to do your left navigation. You could always just use H3 and say that's what is going to be the dedicated tag for my left navigation and do it that way. But traditionally, headings are thought of in this way. You get your level 1, 2, and 3, and what CSS allows you to do is then basically apply a style to it. So I'm going to click on that heading 1. I'm going to hit on here, and I'm going to hit plus down here. You can see that it's actually saying, how do I want my heading 1 to be within the container, within the body. I don't want to be that specific. I want to just set a rule based on, and I can actually over here say, I just really want to redefine a tag, the H1. And in this case, I want my font to be the same, but I could choose Arial. And I want my heading, in this case, my heading 1, I want to be 36 pixels. I'm going to choose my weight to be bold. And my color, I'm going to choose to be black. I'm going to hit OK. So now, actually, I'm going to do one more thing. So I'm going to go back to that, and I'm going to add margin. And so in this case, I'm going to do 0 pixels. And when I do it once like that, it should apply it all the way around it. So now I'm going to select heading 2, select it here, and create a new rule. Once again, I don't want a compound, I just want to redefine the tag. And I'm going to just follow these same steps because I really focus on being consistent. So Arial, in this case I'm going to go 24 pixels. I'm going to go bold still go black, but there could be a reason where you might start changing the colors. So I could decide that maybe I want it to be red. And I'm going to actually do the same thing with the margin. So rather than doing it the way I did it there, you can always go down and do margin 0. And you notice then it adds it for you. And the reason I'm adding this margin is that's what allows you to get rid of this white space. And so, because by default, like this heading 3 and the body text down here, likes to separate it. But if you really want to follow good design principles and get things close together, you're going to want to use that margin to be able to allow you to have this kind of space here. So just like that. So that's why the margin is really important. So now we're going to do the last thing to heading 3. We're going to make sure it's there. We're going to hit the plus sign. We're going to make sure we're just redefining the tag. So whenever H3 is used throughout our pages, this is what's going to happen. And so in this example, I'm maybe rather than a third level heading, I see this as something that's going to be anything that I want to bold within my paragraph or really highlight with a different color. So I'm going to have it 14 pixels, just like my normal font, but I'm going to actually have it be this color red. And so then I'm going to do that. And so then what this allows me to do is within the paragraph, if I wanted to really point it out, I could just simply see what it likes to do. I'm going to delete this. This is something it loves to do with these, is it likes to apply it to the whole thing. So I'm just going to grab this just to show you. Oops. See, there I go missing my drag and dropping. So it's still wanting to do, so now I still need to add a margin to it. And it's still doing it, so I'd have to play with this some more. But you get the idea of there's a lot of different ways that you can redefine CSS, or you redefine tags like H1, H2, H3 for how you want your headings to look throughout your page. You could decide later, you know, I actually want this one not to be black, I want it to be this color, so there it goes. And so there are a lot of ways that you can kind of do this. And so feel free to experiment with it. We still have some stuff going on up here to clean that up. Alright, see in there what it's doing, that's a good example that I just did that, is I hit enter and it basically added a paragraph tag. And so what happens is now the paragraph tag has by default a margin above it. So what we can always do for the container, if we wanted to, we could do container P. So this is a compound, but see, it's not wanting me to do it that way. So for now we'll actually just do it within the body to show you. So container body P, and so this is an example where I'm going to want to decide the margins all the way around, and by doing that, now even if I happen to accidentally hit enter and a paragraph tag goes in here, I still have that nice proximity that I really want to work on having. So just like that, I've showed you how to use headings to set up your navigation. Let me rephrase that. Just like that, I showed you how to use headings in CSS to really set up your headings and apply not only good design principles, but also to be able to set them up with different colors, and really just to change the default settings that HTML likes to use by default for headings. Stick with us, and we're going to next focus on how to use classes to set up and pseudo selectors to set up how we format our links.